Hey guys, welcome back to Spiritual Journey. My name is Colleen Jorgensen, and we've had some pretty powerful energies funneling into these new moons that we've been having ever since December. So February is the same as the last previous 2 months. And we have a pretty powerful new moon on the 17th of February. It is annular eclipse. It is ushers in the Chinese New Year and the fire horse. And of course, it's a new moon. It arrives at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time AM, 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, and 8 a.m. in the morning on the Eastern Seaboard. So it lands in the sign of Aquarius, and it lands at 28 degrees 49 minutes. And so it's at the very back end of this sign. So this really, we're in eclipse season now, and Aquarius really brings in this humanitarian energy. And this is the first in a series of eclipses that are going to happen on the Aquarius Leo axis now as we finish up that Pisces Virgo health axis. And now we're moving into humanitarian issues, children's issues with that Leo energy. And this is going to transpire over the course of the next 18 months. So this is a powerful eclipse. It ushers in that fire horse energy. And that energy of the fire horse, you just imagine fire, how swift it goes, aggressive it is, assertive sometimes, but it moves quickly and the horse moves quickly. That wild horse is very difficult to be tamed. And so this is almost like a movement and representing freedom, right? Equality. Like I said in an earlier video, we quite often, humans, are always reaching for that liberty. And this is no different than any other energy that moves us to reach for that freedom, equality, civil liberties, those types of things. Now, on top of this, the eclipse is an annular eclipse. That means that the moon doesn't quite cover the entirety of the sun. And so it's going to create that ring of fire right around this eclipse. And that really makes a statement, doesn't it? The emerging of this energy, but yet the overshadowing of some old concepts or old leaderships. You know, eclipses are unpredictable energy. They're really wild cards in the zodiac. They bring about important events and important changes within our lives, whether it's the south node or the dragon's tail or the north node and the dragon's head. Doors are opening and closing. So you get this really significant shifts of major events happening during eclipse season. Eclipse energy can make us really exhausted. So if you find that you're kind of falling asleep in the middle of the day or really tired for some reason, it's because this energy is really, really ramped up. Now, this eclipse is the north node, the first of the air of Aquarius. And this north node is going to open up some doors and open up some opportunities And Aquarius is very much about that groups of people coming together, uh, and we're aligning in this ideology of moving forward. Aquarius is also the environment, environmental issues, what is best for us all as a group, but it also connects us through this sort of electrifying energy. And I'm sure you've heard that we're all connected, or we all carry the creator's energy, and we're all linked no matter what you are, whether you're a human or a plant or a rock or a tree. We are all have the threads of this energy. And so we transfer this through emotion or through the water element, and we transfer it onward. So there is a lot of unpredictable, kind of unstable energy that is looking for change in this new moon eclipse. Now, new moons are just times in our lives that we're planting seeds and we're ready to move into a new genre or a new thought process. And so it's a larger cycle than just the 1 month cycle. So this is very fast-paced energy. Things and events are going to transpire very, very quickly because of that Aquarius energy. It's wild, it's freedom-loving, it's choices, unpredictability, equality. And for those of you who like stability, like some of the earth signs, you better buckle up your seatbelt, because we are moving in to a lot of shifts and a lot of changes heading our way. Now, in addition, this moon lands at the latter degree at 28 degrees 49 minutes. Like it is just 11 minutes away from the 29th degree. And the 29th degree brings a bit of chaos to things. It wants to finish up things. It's sort of at the end of its rope. I always say the 29th degree, we're at the end of our rope. And we want to shift, but we have unfinished business to attend to before we can do that. And there's a lot of energy in this, a lot of chaotic energy within this moon. Now, just following just a couple days on the 20th of February, Saturn and Neptune are going to come together at 00 degrees of Aries on the world axis. So this is an energy that's going to affect the whole entire world. And I've kind of already said that in my last video that this is like a dominoes effect. It goes click, 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 and it kind of ricochets around the world in its energy, right? Or an event happens, and then it has this domino effect. And these two planets coming together at this particular marker hasn't been done in thousands of years. And on top of it, it starts a new cycle. It starts this new cycle between Neptune and Saturn. And Neptune dissolves things, and Saturn has constructed things. So Neptune is very wishy-washy. We change our belief systems. We get persuaded into believing something different than what we have believed for a very long time with these two coming together. This can actually dissolve governments, collapse governments, because in Aquarius, the energy of this new moon is the realization that things are not what we've been told they are. And so it can erase borders. It can move the line, sort of to say it can construct a different ideology And so boundaries are redrawn. Younger leadership comes to the surface through persuasion or through inspiration that motivates people through that water element. So new religions or beliefs can emerge. It's going to affect the oil and gas industry, the pharmaceutical industry. Water is going to become a really important issues. And we could also get some diseases that are spreading very fast that really take a hold. So there's a lot of people right now that are developing this long-term cold that's really hard to shake. So we could find erosions like the earth eroding, which moves the borders or the lines of where a structure used to be, and now it's no longer there. And and so there's a lot of just disintegration of things breaking down, and that could be the actual infrastructure of various cities or towns or old buildings that are just starting to crumble. Now, the new moon in Aquarius is a very nervous energy. It rules our electrical system and the brain waves, right? So it really, Aquarius seeks to tap into that emotional energy, which really inspires to move, to movement. An idea motivates us to move forward, but it causes this kind of anxiety, restlessness. Like in the middle of the night, you want to just get up and start doing something. So it changes and shifts, and it can create this chaotic energy with it that kind of spurs humanity into this motivation or into this energy that wants to change something. And it eventually we fall into adaptability. Now we change. The moon is very changeable. It's vague, but it's very, very changeable. And the seeds are now being planted for something new, something that can shift society into believing a whole new ideology. So new religions or new belief systems can come up. It's very unusual, somewhat volatile, and it's very unpredictable at this new moon because it's ruled by Uranus. Now, Uranus is this rebellious energy that wants to break away from something. It really speaks of freedom. And so it's ruling this energy of this moon, or it's poking this moon to spur us onward. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus can, in here, square to this new moon, can signal that something needs to change financially, monetarily. So we can have a destabilizing economy begin to happen here, and or the currency is affected in some way, whether that's Bitcoin or the US dollar or the stock markets. Is at 27 degrees. It's very, very close to Algol, and Algol is Medusa's head, and of course is a very demonous star, which can, of course, create this energy that somebody did something wrong, heads are about to roll, and which causes a destabilization within a country or within an individual even. And we've kind of already seen that. Algol's been on this with Uranus for a while, and we've seen these abrupt, unexpected news media things coming out with the Epstein files and certain heads of state starting to feel the repercussion of some of their actions, which have been scandalous, which is coming out and coming to the surface. So this Uranus is squaring that new moon, which is going to spur on the people, but it's also going to spur on younger leaders to step up to the plate and have their say, which can be very motivating as well. This is when you really get passion meets groups of people and it motivates them onward. But this square to this new moon can cause electrical disruptions. It can cause internet problems, cyber hacking or attacks, storms, earthquakes, aviation malfunctions, stock market chaos, chaotic humanitarian rebellious or marches or riots emerging, and even peaceful riots. It brings up issues with AI, but this can spur us to create something because, what is that old saying about necessity is the mother of invention? And so we're lacking something and we need something to fill it in for humanitarian sakes or purposes. Now, the planets are really bunched together aside from Jupiter and Uranus. They're really kind of bunched together in this really sort of condensed, packed energy between the early part of Aquarius and the latter part of Aries, with Eris sitting there and Chiron sitting there. So it puts a large concentration on this humanitarian belief, motivating us into individual action. And what do you believe in? What is your purpose here? And what are you going to build? What are you going to create? Now, Venus is in the middle of that pack, and it's sitting right on this eclipse on the north node. And it's kind of like spurring on that. What do you desire? What do you really, really want? And how are you going to attain it? And so it also signals Venus rules that monetary system. So newly in Pisces, which she's dignified in there. So what are you going to spend your money on, or what inspires you or motivates you to break through or break away from certain things? Now, it's really interesting because I have the Three of Swords, which is kind of like a heartbreak, right? Stabbing in the heart or some sort of disappointment. And then I have the Lover's card. So it kind of says to me, this could be a real problem within relationships, secrets, finding out about somebody, or somebody is spending too much money within the relationships. It's very creative and new creations, new developments. So you could meet your Mr. Right as well. And it's very, very persuasive energy. However, it brings out scandals, conspiracy theories, secrets, the unexpected appears. It kind of is like digging out the dirt, I guess you could say, within the system itself. And we're all waking up to it. It can be jarring news that emerges that we go, whoa, like where did that come from? So Mercury is slowing down, and we always need Mercury, the merchant, to spread the word, right? And Mercury is in the sign of Pisces, and Pisces is going to be here for quite a while. And because Mercury is going to go retrograde. So check in Pisces, no doubt. So check your facts, review the information, and review information from the past. These can bring up old issues that are coming to light that need to be resolved, investigations. It can also bring up the oil and gas industry, pharmaceuticals, drugs, water issues as well, and things that we need to do with water issues and water um, problems within the world because we have a lot of them. Now, the moon is ruling Jupiter, and Jupiter, of course, is in the sign of the moon. And is in Cancer. And of course, every astrologer is telling you the moon rules silver. And that's what is the expansion here to silver. And Jupiter is going to trine Venus just shortly after that connection between Neptune and Saturn. And I'm not a financial astrologer, nor do I give financial advice. But you can see that trine funneling in for that new creation, and it could certainly bump up silver, I believe, or the expansion of silver or the investment in silver. And Jupiter is going to be at 15 degrees for quite a while, all the way till April. And so that degree is really, really highlighted. It's also a dignified degree as well. So it's squaring Mercury. And this is where we get this confusion going on, that we can be led astray, or there are conspiracy theories or things that are happening that are a little bizarre. We don't have all the facts, or we don't have the information. And so we fill in the gaps with whatever it is that we decide we're going to fill in the gaps with. And so you need to be really, really cautious about that energy that's taking place. In addition, we have this new moon that's landing right on the United States moon. With the chart that I use on July 4th, 1776 at 5:10 p.m. And that moon is at 27 degrees Aquarius, so it's within a 1 degree of that moon. And that's really going to motivate some groups of people in the United States as well. And the people of the United States. And so that can really spur up some revolutionary energy, and they can find themselves coming up against a population that is ready to move on into something new and something refreshing. In Canada, that Jupiter square to Mercury and that new moon lands in the 5th house of investments and risk-taking and children as well. So we have that energy that is manifesting, and it's square to the Pisces energy. Jupiter, which is in the 9th house, is in the 10th house, is square to Mercury that's sitting in that 5th house. So in Canada, this is about our government, and our government working for the people, because we have Cancer in the 10th house. So there is an expansion here of land and housing building, perhaps. But I think that Canada needs to be cautious about how much they're investing into some of these projects. And are they worth the expenditure, or are they going over budget? So I think that there's a lot more schools that are being built right now, and families coming in, or immigration, because we're based on an immigrant population, or we're an immigrant country. And so what is the investment to these housing and investments into other countries, or into other countries investing in us? So our prime minister or our leadership has to be really cautious about that. So here's the thing. As I showed you, we have this three of hearts. And there's this breaking away. I need to be free, this rebellious energy. And then Venus is involved, right? Venus is ruling Uranus. So relationships are very involved, and this disappointment or something coming out. Now, it kind of reminds me of the Epstein energy, that we are really disappointed with some of the relationships that we're learning about and the people who are involved. But on a personal matter, this can be something that is exposed within a relationship that causes you to leave, that you break away and leave. No hard feelings. I'm just moving out. So I find that these three cards really Uranian, or expressing this energy that is kind of manifesting with the wild horse coming, the eclipse coming, this Uranian energy that is affecting this new moon and launching us onto a new platform. And so it's really interesting because the news, the pentacle, this fresh news or fresh investments, right, happening with this page of pentacles, that really motivates us forward. Like, let's do it. No, like, no, nothing is limited, but there is some sort of a woman here which is guiding or leading some of this energy as well. And so you want to, it's like information comes out, I'm going to do it, but there's some woman at the helm here that is kind of motivating some of this energy. So, folks, wow, that is that new moon eclipse. Expect to be a little tired. Pace yourself. Don't get overwhelmed. Events could come about that need immediate attention. So don't waste time. Address the issues as they come and deal with them very, very quickly. Because even if you're dealing with some past issues, you're ready to move on. And it's been a long haul for 2.5 years with Saturn in Pisces, that you're ready now to move on and get rid of all the confusion and the bizarreness and the control through manipulation, and that you want to move on and get clean up and get things over and done with and finished. But before that happens, you're going to receive some abrupt new information that is worth investigation. So pay attention to that. We'll see you at the next chat about some of these wild events that are taking place either in your own individual life or on a world platform. If they're taking place in your own individual life, maybe you want to contact me at spiritualjourney.ca, or maybe you want to contact me at accsj@live.ca. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.